I never really believed in the supernatural. Not ghosts, not demons, not creatures lurking in the woods. That all changed in the fall of 2019, when I came face to face with something that had no right to exist. I was living in northern Maine at the time, renting a small off-grid cabin deep in the woods. I'd moved there to escape the chaos of the city, to find peace and quiet where I could work on my writing. The nearest town, Ashland, was about 20 miles away, and my nearest neighbor was probably closer to 10. It was isolated, but that's how I wanted it. The first few weeks were uneventful. I spent my days hiking, chopping wood, and writing by candlelight. The nights were silent, save for the occasional owl or the rustle of wind through the trees. But then things started to change. It began with the noises. One night, as I sat on my porch with a cup of tea, I heard something move in the trees. It wasn't the usual sounds of a deer or raccoon. This was heavier, slow, deliberate, like something was stalking just beyond the tree line. I shone my flashlight into the woods, but the light barely penetrated the thick darkness. Whatever it was, it stopped moving the moment the beam hit the trees. I waited, holding my breath, but there was nothing. Then came the footprints. One morning, I stepped outside to fetch some firewood and saw them in the frost-covered grass. Massive footprints, at least twice the size of my own, with long, claw-like indentations at the tips. They led from the woods to the edge of my cabin, stopping just below my bedroom window. My stomach turned as I realized that whatever had made them had been standing there, watching me as I slept. I convinced myself it was a prank, maybe some hunter trying to scare me. But I knew, deep down, that no human could leave tracks like that. Then things escalated. The next night I was jolted awake by a sound I can only describe as a cross between a deep growl and a guttural clicking noise. It was right outside my window. My heart pounded as I reached for my flashlight and shone it through the glass. For a split second I saw something. Tall, gaunt, with pale grayish skin stretched tight over its bones. Its eyes glowed an unnatural shade of yellow, and its mouth was too wide, filled with sharp, uneven teeth. Then it was gone, vanishing into the woods faster than anything that size had a right to move. I barely slept that night. Every creak of the cabin, every whisper of wind sent my nerves into overdrive. The next morning, I found deep scratches on the wooden walls outside my window. Long, deliberate gouges, like something had been testing the strength of the structure. I packed my bags that day, determined to leave. But as I loaded my truck, I noticed something odd. The woods were silent. Completely, unnaturally silent. No birds, no insects, nothing. The air felt thick, suffocating. Then I saw it, standing at the tree line, half hidden in the shadows. It was watching me. I could feel its gaze, cold and predatory. And then it grinned. A slow, deliberate grin that made my skin crawl. I jumped into my truck and tore down the dirt road, not stopping until I reached Ashland. I didn't go back for my things. I didn't tell anyone the real reason I left. Who would believe me? I've since moved back to the city, back to noise and people and safety. But I still dream of that thing, of its glowing eyes in the dark, of its grin. Sometimes in the dead of night, I wake up with the unshakable feeling that something is standing outside my window, watching, waiting.